Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a structured system for building real professional-grade software with AI. We're talking about moving way beyond just simple demos. It's called a BMAD method, and honestly, it might just change how you think about coding with AI.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, we've all been there. You give an AI a quick prompt, and poof, it spits out something that kind of looks like an app. But as AI Labs points out, that quick and dirty approach almost never gives you software that's robust, maintainable, or actually ready for the real world.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down in this explainer. First, we'll tackle the problem, what people are calling vibe coding. Then, we'll get into the core idea of the BMAD method, thinking of AI as your agile team. After that, we'll walk through the planning phase, the actual dev cycle, and finally, we'll talk about what your new role looks like in all of this. All right, first up, let's talk about the common approach that this whole method is designed to fix. It's a practice a lot of us have probably tried, just winging it. But for serious professional work, it's got some pretty big limitations. The term they've coined for this is vibe coding. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You're basically just throwing a high-level idea at an AI, build me an app that does X, and crossing your fingers, hoping for the best. It's all improvisation, no real plan. And yeah, it can be fun for a quick experiment, but it's totally unpredictable and usually leads to code that breaks if you look at it wrong. And this chart just lays it all out. On one side, you have the total chaos of vibe coding. Yeah, you get quick demos, but you're really just relying on luck. On the other side, you've got the BMAD method. It's structured, it's methodical, and it's designed from the ground up to create real, scalable production software. It's really the difference between a rough sketch on a napkin and a full architectural blueprint.
So what's the solution? The BMAD method. It stands for Breakthrough Method for Agile AI-driven Development. Now, the key thing to get here is that it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's taking the same industry-standard agile development process that professional software teams have used for years and just applying it to a team of AI agents. Okay, this next part is where the big mental shift happens. With this system, you stop being just a prompter. You become a manager. You're not writing a prompt, you're running a staff meeting with your new AI team. So, yeah, forget that one single massive prompt. Instead, you orchestrate a whole team. Each AI agent has a very specific job, a specialty, just like on a real-world software team. You're not just asking for code anymore. You're managing the entire development lifecycle through these agents.
And here's your starting lineup. The method even gives them these cool personas to make it all feel real. You've got Mary, the analyst, to brainstorm with you, a product manager to write up the detailed requirements, an architect to design the whole system, a scrum master to chop the work into bite-sized pieces, James, the developer, to crank out the code, and Quinn, the QA agent, to make sure it's all top-notch. You direct them, and they do the heavy lifting.
Okay, let's dive into the first big phase. A huge part of what makes the BMAD method so powerful is that all this strategic work happens before a single line of code ever gets written. This is the all-important planning phase.
So during this phase, you're actually collaborating with your AI analyst, your product manager, and your architect. Together, you're not just vaguely describing an app, no way. You're creating a detailed, solid blueprint. We're talking a full product requirements document, a PRD, and a complete architecture plan.
And one of the key techniques here is something the source material calls advanced elicitation. The idea is simple but powerful. You don't just sit back and accept the AI's first answer. You actively push back. You challenge its assumptions. You make it stress test its own ideas, and you force it to explore other options. This makes the final plan so much stronger. For example, an agent might use this really clever technique called hindsight is 20/20. It pretends it's 6 months in the future, looks back, and points out a potential mistake. Like here, it's asking, hey, what if we hadn't promised cross-device sync right away? That's a huge technical headache. It's like having a super experienced advisor helping you avoid pitfalls before you even start.
So once that solid plan is locked in, we move from that strategic, web-based planning process to the hands-on coding. And this all happens right inside your development environment, your IDE. The beautiful thing is, you're not going in blind. You're armed with your super detailed PRD and your architecture documents, so development isn't some chaotic sprint to the finish line. It's a controlled, cyclical process. You're building the software piece by piece, or as they say in Agile development, story by story.
And this is that core loop. It's simple. The Scrum Master drafts a small, manageable task, a story. Then you, the user, give it the green light. The developer agent jumps in and codes just that one story. Then the QA agent gives the code a solid review. Once it passes, you mark it done, and the whole cycle just starts over again with the next task. It's methodical, it's predictable, and you're in control. Now, I really want to double down on your role in this loop. That second step, your approval, is absolutely critical. This isn't some black box system that just runs off and does its own thing. It's designed specifically to keep the human in the loop. That means you are always in full control, steering the ship one story at a time. So let's pull back and look at the bigger picture here as we wrap up. Because this method, it's not just a set of commands, It really represents a fundamental shift in what it means to be a human coder. The whole thing is built on a few really smart principles. First, the dev agents are kept lean. They're only given the context they need for one task, which makes them super efficient. Second, the whole framework runs on natural language, just plain English in Markdown files. And most importantly, you become the orchestrator. Your job isn't writing every single line of code anymore. It's directing this incredibly efficient team of AI specialists. And that right there, that's the absolute core of this entire method. The real power isn't in crafting some perfect, complex prompt, or even in writing the final lines of code yourself. It's in the orchestration. It's using plain English to manage a complex process and guide a team of AIs to create something amazing. So that leaves us with this really fascinating question to chew on. As these tools get better and better, is the most valuable skill for a developer in the future going to be typing out perfect syntax, or will it be about clearly and effectively conducting an entire orchestra of AI agents? It's a pretty powerful idea, and the BMAD method really gives us a solid glimpse of what that future just might look like.